we start the recording. Yes. Then I'll go to, so they're choosing the application option, and then I need to begin with from the first slide. As you can see, today we are going to start the new unit of the course book, Unit 2. It's called Working in General Practice.
I can't see the slides.
Yeah, so it takes some time. So, and well, and of course we are going to listen to your presentation. Ibrahim Hassan is joining us. Ibrahim Hassan. Okay. So 6 students now. And well, yes, and I guess I need to enter the application so you can see it in full screen. Well, now we start with the analysis of your previous home assignment. You remember that there were 2 exercises where the task was to use the verbs in the present in one of the forms of the present tenses. So in the first exercise, the task was to complete the sentences with the present simple or present continuous forms of the verbs, which are given in brackets. And some of the students just ignored the instructions and tried to use the past simple form, for example. Let us look at the screenshots of some from the students' papers. For example, in the first sentence, the screenshot, so there is the sentence, these days most children are having too many fizzy drinks. So Aon. Aon is here. So he's joining us. Aon, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you, Doctor.
Where are you now, Aon?
In Almaty.
Almaty, great. Well, I can see you. Well, and so as for this sentence, so the student uses the present continuous form of the verb to have, having. So we were speaking about the use of the verb to have, that the use of this verb in the continuous form is restricted to the phrases like have a shower, have something to say, or but in the meaning of possession. So I think it's better to use it in the simple form because this is a non-action verb. That is why the better version of the sentence is these days most children have too many fizzy drinks. And if we say these days, it means nowadays, like every day. So this is like a regular action, not something which is happening right now. Well, and so there are screens from the paper where the student just used past simple tense instead of one of the present tenses. In sentence 5, it says we didn't get takeaway pizzas during the week. So it means the meaning of the sentence is we just get takeaway pizzas only at the weekend. we don't get it during the week, so every week. This is a regular action. So if the sentence means that was in the past, there should be some phrase that shows that was in the past. For example, during the week last year, so we did it. That is why it's better to use the present simple. We don't get takeaway pizzas during the week. And sentence number 6. It smells great. This phrase shows that something is happening now. And that is why we need to use the present continuous tense. What is your mother making? It smells great. Yes, Abdullah, do you have any questions?
Yes, doctor, I have a question about the mark. Even thought I solve everything in right way, I still took 26. Why?
26. Because there were, so look, there were 3 assignments given on the Moodle site, right? And we had 2 classes actually. So we met only twice. For each week, the maximum score you can get 10 points. So for the first assignment, you remember it was a vocabulary exercise about parts of the body. Your grade is 10. For the second task, grammar, that was direct and indirect questions, your grade is 6. And for the last one, which was the use of the present tenses, your grade is 10. So the grade is 26.
And
Yes. Yes, ask please. If you don't understand something, you should ask. No? Okay. So is everything clear with this these sentences?
yes, doctor.
Okay. And if we move, yes, there's one more sentence, number 8, from the same exercise about the diet. And the student writes, the diet in my country got worse. So the instructions say there should be present tense. That is why we could use both of them. The diet in my country is getting worse currently, just if we mean the process, or we can also use the simple form, the diet in my country gets worse regularly. Well, and as for the second exercise, well, the task there was to use use the present perfect or the present perfect continuous tense, and to add since or for to the sentences. And there were no problems mostly with the since and for, so you know how to use them correctly. And I would like to focus on some sentences so where there's some problems. For example, the first sentence, the student uses, we have been knowing each other since we were children, and the verb have been knowing. Actually, it's we were speaking about this, that there are action verbs and state verbs in English. And if we speak about non-action or state verbs, so they shouldn't be used in the continuous form. The present continuous, the past continuous, present perfect continuous, they shouldn't be used. That is why it's better to use the present perfect simple. We have known each other since we were children. And so when we were speaking about non-action verbs, the verb know was on the list on one of the slides. Well, sentence number 3. So the student writes, does your sister have had that hairstyle? So, and I see that the student just means to use the present perfect tense, because have had is used. but the student doesn't remember which auxiliary verb should be used at the beginning of the question, general question, and the student uses does. Of course, it should be different. It should be the first form, the first part of the main verb, the auxiliary verb, and it shouldn't be have, it should be has, because we speak about sister, she. So when this is third person singular, he, she, it, we should change the form of the verb from have to has. So like in this, on this line, has your sister had its hairstyle for a long time? And sentence 4, so the same, just like mistake, I've been loving her since the first day we met. Love is also non-action verb. It shouldn't be used in the continuous form. I have loved her since the first day we met. And one more sentence. My internet connection have not worked since yesterday. So here, internet connection is can be replaced with the pronoun it. It means that we need the form has. And my internet connection has not worked since yesterday. I think, so I didn't mark this sentence just to be wrong, but I think it's better to use continuous form, like hasn't been working since yesterday, because we emphasize not only the result, like it is not working now, but also that it hasn't been working for a long time, since yesterday, and we can't live without the internet. So these are the comments on your home assignment. Do you understand everything?
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No, thank you, teacher.
I see, okay. And
Yes, Doctor. I have one.
yes. Who is speaking?
In Aoun,
Yes, Owen.
not this page.
Okay.
There is an assignment about, no, the second one.
This
Yeah,
one.
this one, yeah. We have been knowing each other since we were children. Can we wrote it? We had been knowing each other since we were children.
Look, no. So had known. This is the past perfect tense, and the past perfect tense shows that the action was done before another action in the past. So like in the sentence, I had met him before I had known him before we met at the party yesterday. Met is the verb in the past simple tense, and I had known is the past perfect tense. It shows that this action was before I met him, before the past action.
Yeah, understood.
Yes, we'll speak about the past perfect tense at one of our classes later. And this is the result is just now in this sentence. So I know him. Well, now let us just focus on the projects that you were given, the task to find the information and to present it with the help of the PowerPoint. And so there are three projects, and Yara, as the group leader, was responsible for distributing the students into groups and giving them the topic. Yes, Yara. And
Yes.
I would like just so are we ready with the presentations?
I guess my group, yes, but I don't know the other groups
Okay.
because I sections the groups. So we have 3 groups. The
Okay,
first one
let me-
is
just a minute. So the first group, tell me please, who was responsible for the first topic, body language in your culture?
the first one. Wait, I just will check.
Mhm.
Who's remember, guys? Who's
Uh,
responsible?
on
Who?
Ibrahim Abdullah.
Yes, the first group for on, Ibrahim and Abdullah, first project.
So just a minute. Aoun, Abdullah, and Abdelrahim.
Yes.
Abdelrahman,
No, Ibrahim, not Abdurrahman.
just a minute. Mhm. Ibrahim Nasser Hassan, right?
Yes. Right.
Yes, yes.
So Aoun, Abdullah, and Ibrahim, right?
Yes.
Okay. So guys,
And for the
just a minute.
second,
Yara,
okay.
you'll tell me later after we have listened to the gentleman, okay? So
Mhm.
are you ready with your presentation?
Yes.
Before we start listening to you, I would like to say some words to focus on some criteria for evaluating group presentations, which I will use. And I would just like you to have a look at these criteria. Because after we have listened to the speakers, I'm going to ask one of the students or several students to say some, to evaluate the presentation actually. So the criteria are the following. So we should look at the content, organization, delivery, and visual aids that are used in the presentation. So as for the content, we need to answer the question, is the presentation informative and interesting? And then about organization, about how the material is organized logically or not. About the delivery, are the speakers talking about the slides that, rather than simply reading them to the audience? And about visuals, do the visuals help illustrate the important points? And do visuals use keywords or graphs instead of full sentences? So these are the criteria. And so when we will listen to the presentation, we'll go back to this slide and we'll have a chance to use it in the analysis of the presentation, in evaluation. And now, it's time for your presentation, gentlemen. And yes, I'm going to give you the right to share the screen. Yes, Abdullah.
Doctor, I have a question. Will all group take the same mark, or will take according on his part?
Seminar? Which seminar do you mean?
No,
I mean this task, this presentation.
This presentation, we are going to listen to your presentation, to watch it now. You'll be speaking.
Okay.
Yes, now.
Let's say I take 9.
Sorry?
It's mean the On and Ibrahim will take 9 also, or
Doctor,
according to their part?
he meant it's individual mark or for group mark for presentation?
Individual mark, but the grade, the mark will be the same for all the members of the group because you work in a team and So you've prepared the presentation together and you are going to present the information together. You should take part in just in presenting it. You should say something. You see?
Of course. Yeah.
Mhm. Well,
Okay, I can share it, yeah?
yes, yes, Emily. Mhm.
Okay, Ibrahim.
Is body language important? Body language make up the
Ibrahim.
largest part of nonverbal communication, eye contact. Gesture and facial expression can convey powerful message. However, there are subtle culture differences in how people use body language to communicate. Sometimes it's very obvious, many times it's subtle. Can you change the slide, please?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, eye contact in the most Western countries, eye contact is a sign of confidence and activeness. We tend to assume that if someone looks away while we are talking to them, they are distracted or looking for someone else to talk to. And in some parts of India, people tilt their heads from side to side to confirm something and demonstrate that they are actively listening, wanted to show sign of understanding. And the sitting position, be aware of cross-legged to see is seen as disrespectful in Japan, especially in presence of someone or posture when you are attending meetings or dining sittings or order, be more respectful than you. Silence through it can feel like a void in communication. Silence can be very meaningful in different cultures and contexts. Western culture, especially in Northern America and UK, tended to view silence as a problematic in our interactions at work, school, or friends with silence uncomfortable. It's often perceived as a sign in interactives or distance. And other cultures, however, silence is not viewed as negative caricatures. In China, silence can use to show argument and perspectives. In many cultures, a question will be answered only after period of competitive silence. In Japan, silence from women can be considered as an expression of femininity. You can continue on.
Okay. So patient-centered approach in history talking. So the first article will be about the question what asked. What does a patient-centered approach in history talking means? So it means educating patients about their illness, inquiring inquiries and participation, describing how the illness impacts the patient's emotional well-being and including patients in treatment discussions. So in patient-centered interviewing, clinicalness allow patients to lead a direct conversation. Patients are encouraged to express what they feel is important, including personal concerns and emotions, which proved an individual context for their symptoms and disease. Clinicians may see patient-centeredness as advocating for their patients to ensure their needs are met. Organizations within healthcare, such as family health teams and hospitals, may consider themselves patient-centered when they involve patients on communities and use the result of patient certification service to inform their discussions. Policy marks sometimes describe patient-centeredness as a measure of health system performance or as a principle to strive for when designing health service within the budgets that have been allocated. Public health participant owners may feel that patient-centeredness should be less concurrent with meeting the desires of individual patients and more concurrent with addressing the social determinants of health, which they argue would prevent many citizens for beginning patients in the first place. So letting the patient choose who can visit them, allowing the patient to pick their own visiting hours, inviting the patient's family members to participate in discussion making, providing accommodation for visitors like food and blankets. Abdullah.
Yes. Now, what other area beside medicine are understanding nonverbal communication important? First, we have to know the meaning of nonverbal or nonverbal communication. It's the process of communication through sending and receiving message without word between people. This message may be sent through expression, touch, body language, and facial expression, or eye contact, as Ibrahim said. It is also possible to convey nonverbal or verbal message through physical media, such as clothing, poetry, or architecture. Speech also usually contains nonverbal elements called letter language, such as sound quality, frequency, loudness, manner of speaking. Writing text also have a verbal communicative elements such as writing style, spatial argument of word, or argument of text on a page. Now let's talk about the importance of nonverbal communication. The nonverbal communication can be a substance for a verbal message. For example, a person's eye can convey a level message much more than just verbal word. The speaker's word must match his behavior. The nonverbal message must complement and reinforce verbal message. And many global cultures agree and achieve effective communication for the individual with the owner of this culture, such as gesture expression, laughter, vitality, tension, and excitement. Now, let's move on the most important part of the article. The uses of the type of communication remain many and varied. It is used in various fields, such as art, politics, education, and justice investigation. In private life, it is used as a primary means of communication for for the deaf and dumb, and as a secondary means with a primary role in communication with ourselves and others, developing relationships, studies of marital relations, and initial communication with strangers. The nonverbal communication plays as a significant role in our lives, as it can improve person's ability to relate, engage, and establish meaningful in everyday life. A better understanding of this type of communication may lead people to develop stronger relationship with others. Now, what is non-verbal communication can play 5 roles. First, the repetition. It's repeat and often strengthens the message you are making verbally. Then, contraction. It can contract the message you are trying to convey, thus indicating to your listening that you may not be telling the truth. Substitution. It can substitute for the verbal message. For example, your facial expression often convey a far more vivid message than word ever can. Complementing. It may add or complementing your verbal message, as a boss if you bat an employee in his back. In addition, to give press, it can increase the impact for your message. Accent. It may accent or underline a verbal message, bounding the table. For example, can underline the importance of your message. Thank you so much for your interest and attention. Was with you, Abdullah and Ibrahim.
Okay, thank you. I was just waiting for you to explain the gestures which are given on the last slide, the meaning of these just gestures. And actually, yes, you didn't just explain it. Well, so if we go back to the criteria. So yeah, on the slide. Well, so who would like to say something about the presentation?
It was well organized.
Who is speaking?
Amrul.
So please. Yes, yes, continue, please. Well organized.
Yes, it was well organized, and they all knew what to read, and yeah, I liked it.
Would you like
And the
to
pictures were nice.
yeah, would you like to recommend anything to the speakers? Any recommendations to make the presentation even better next time, for example, when they deal with presentations? Any recommendations?
For me, no, I liked it.
I see. Okay, good. Well, it looks like, yeah, so there is less than 1 minute. Well, I need some more time to just to share my opinion about the presentation. That is why we should pause for 10 minutes and just see you after the break. Okay.